It is with great pleasure that I invite and welcome JDRF Youth Ambassador and my dear friend, Jack Stewart, to the stage to say a few words.
Good evening. My name is Jack Stewart. Gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous. My dad said there was gonna be 40 people here. Thanks a lot, Dad. My mom is telling me to look up. My sister is telling me not to stutter. I haven't even started the speech and I'm already a wreck. I have type 1 diabetes. For those of you who don't know what type 1 diabetes is, it's when my pancreas stopped working and stopped producing insulin. Insulin is used to maintain your blood glucose levels, which is needed to fuel your body. Bottom line is, I don't produce my own insulin, so I have to inject myself 4 to 5 times a day, 365 days a year. Fun for a kid. So by now, some of you guys are asking, what is that kid doing up there? How long is he gonna be? Well, let me tell you a short story. Shortly after I was diagnosed at the age 5, my parents were reading up on a type 1 diabetes article and came across an article featuring Boston Pizza and their support for juvenile diabetes. Now, to be honest, all I heard was blah, 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 Boston Pizza, blah, 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 pizza. And I think to myself, I love pizza. Well, it turns out that Boston Pizza was actively funding research and supporting kids like me with type 1 diabetes. But it wasn't just their head office. It was their franchisees and their employees too. They were the ones raising money to find that cure. They were not even affected by the disease, but were still willing to help reach out and help us kids. Remember, there are more than 300,000 Canadians living with type 1 diabetes. The Boston Pizza Foundation has donated over $2.2 million to Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. This money is being spent on research to find a cure and also to help improve people's lives with diabetes like me. So then I started wondering, why do Jim and George do it? Why did they start that foundation back in 1990, and why are they so committed to helping? Why do they continue to support JDRF and Kids Help Phone and the Heart and Stroke Foundation? What I think is that the world can be broken down into 2 groups of people. People who need to affect change, who need to give back, and who need to help others. And people who are content to live their lives on the sidelines, observing but not getting involved. Jim and George are in the first group I mentioned. They're the people that are never satisfied with the status quo. They never accept failure, and they have a need to succeed. If Jim and George ever spent a minute on the sidelines, it'd only be because they'd be crossing the sidelines to get on the field. I want to be like that. I want to be in that group of people. I think Jim and George have got life figured out. Yes, it's important to be successful, but to be a complete person, you have to give back. You have to invest in change. You have to do random acts of kindness. These things feed your soul. You know, having diabetes isn't fun. It hurts. It's a hassle. I have to deal with it every day. But it has given me the opportunity to meet people like Jim and George and Cheryl, and they have had a huge effect on my life. I'm thankful for that. To Jim, George, and Cheryl, on behalf of the kids with type 1 diabetes, I thank you so very much for your support. And thank you for caring, and thank you for feeding your souls. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. And on behalf of the Boston Pizza Foundation, Boston Pizza, Jim, George, and myself, I would like to present you with a token of our appreciation for coming and speaking tonight. You truly might remind us of the real reason we do what we do every day.